I didn't recognize you as your mask. Hey, girl, how are you? Are y'all huggers? I'm sorry.
Yes.
I heard you got hired at the intermediate school. You emailed my mentor and she told me, and I was like, yeah, she's gonna get hired.
Oh, that's your mentor?
Yeah.
She's great, is she not?
She's awesome. She's the sweetest human being
She
ever.
made me, like, I love how soft she is with kids, and, like, she's fun. Sorry, now I'm totally different.
It wouldn't be a bad place to be.
Oh.
She chose to move to Arkansas. I know it's not. I don't like think about it. If you did move to Van Buren, it might be amazing. You should. You should. Be a coach at all about myself.
I went to school a month ago, and essentially what I got hired, essentially what I got
Do they have
told
any openings?
was that, because we both interviewed like within a week. That's exactly what I was telling Autumn.
They're hit and miss. I shouldn't say that. It's not my place to say that.
Yeah, Bradley is the second piece.
So, and if you don't want to say that to them, I would say it to them.
Once they got me,
She told me in her office that it's strictly like the people.
Who is he?
No, it's okay.
you can tell he's not in it for the games.
And yeah.
They need that. Now, there are
What I've heard from a lot of people on it is that there's a ton of them that get hired
and
in
then
the
there are
first
people in middle school like
so if I don't have to find anything by then.
most of them are hometown people. And that's okay, because you got a lot of good hometown people.
I was going to tell you.
But the atmosphere probably won't be as good as Cedar.
It's just from the day I walked in for the interview to the day I walked in just to go to
And I really do like Angela Williams. She's fantastic. I really do like her.
I think I'm 100% sure it's your assistants.
Really? Now, she'd be good.
Now, I heard something someone who applied for something.
I know the order of everything that happens in the house.
But he is a natural. That helps, doesn't it? Good people make good teachers, don't forget that. All about what? All about relationships. And he did build relationships with the students there. And I think they were hungry for it.
Yeah, they did.
It really, but,
I was so upset Friday.
because you had to leave.
A bunch of them are like, "You're not going with us to St. Clair."
I know, and it does.
They made me a birthday card. The teacher did. The teacher had nothing to do with it. I set my second hour class. They just like, "Hey, sign this card, Mr. Porter."
It gets better too when you're actually the person who sets the rules and those procedures, and you build relationships like you
Good morning. Good to see everybody back on campus. We work very hard to prepare everybody back on campus. And also we're expecting to see you guys on the Saturday. Saturday night we have a graduation, and most of our faculty will be there to help you to graduate. And before we start, we'll recognize a couple important guests. First one is Mayor, Dr. George McGill. Two guests from ADE, and the one is the Commissioner, Secretary of, Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, Carrie Sherry. And the Assistant Commissioner Education in Fairness of a Teacher Licensure is Edie Stewart. Edie Stewart. Oh, Edie Stewart. Okay, and so we just kick off our program. Dr. Monica Wright.
Thank you so much, Dr. Yu. We appreciate you being here today. Dr. Yu is our interim dean of the College of STEM and the School of Education, and we appreciate his support around the School of Education. I do want to make an announcement because all of you have been off campus doing something this semester. I'm not really sure what all you've been doing. Yes, I do. But I wanted to make an important announcement to make sure you were aware. As you know, the university is going through a reorganization. As a result, the School of Education will become part of a newly formed college. That college will be the College of Health, Education, and Human Sciences. So beginning in the fall, the new students that come in will be part of that college. So we're excited for that move, although we appreciate our time in the College of STEM. The College of STEM, with the reorganization, there will be 3 new colleges at the university, and ours will be that particular college. So that's very exciting that we will be the College of Health, Education, and Human Sciences. Absolutely. I want to introduce a few other people. I want to make sure that we recognize Ron Orrick, the Executive Director of the Babb Center for Student and Professional Development. Those of you that have been working with Mr. Orrick know the hours that he puts in to make sure that you are your best self when you interview. He provides many opportunities for you, and we appreciate his relationship with the School of Ed. I want to introduce another group of people. I want to introduce the faculty and staff that are here today. If my faculty will stand up, please. Can we give them a hand? These folks work extremely hard for you to be your very best. Another group of people that have made this day, and they make every day in our office run like it should. Usually I'm running around like a crazy person, and my staff is saying, here's what you need, Dr. Riley. Here's what you're supposed to be doing, Dr. Riley. Here's where you're supposed to go next, Dr. Riley. And that's my staff. And if they'll just wave, standing wave, so we can thank them for the work that they do. Now, during non-COVID times, my daughter said, I'm ready to live in precedented times again. Yeah, so am I. We're ready for precedented times. But before COVID, we would have another group of people with us. We would have moms and dads and spouses and children, significant others here. And even though they could not be with us today, we can still thank them for the support and the love that they have offered you during your internship. So let's just give them a hand, even though they're not with us today. There are other key people who could not be with us. Without them, you all would not be sitting where you are, and you would not be ready to step into your very own classroom. We are grateful for the mentors, the mentor teachers, who have supported you during this semester. Let's just hear it for your mentor teachers. Now I would like to introduce Miss Robin Dawson. Miss Dawson is the principal of Spratling Elementary and a true partner with the School of Education. Robin never hesitates to partner with us on any of our initiatives. She's a life changer, and she consistently develops leaders and champions wherever she is. And I will tell you, over the last 3 years, I guess, since Miss Dawson and I have known each other, come on, Miss Dawson. Since Miss Dawson and I have known each other, we have certainly become not just colleagues, but fast friends. And I know that because when I couldn't find my glasses earlier, she loaned me hers. So, so that means you're good friends when that can happen. So come on, thank you. Thank you, Robin, for being here today.
And you know you're really good friends because my glasses were dirty. And so I can them to us, but they're dirty. So, and she just put them on and used them anyway. All right. This is just a phenomenal day for me. I am looking into the faces of the future of our kids. How exciting is that? It doesn't get any better than a new crop of very passionate people about a job that they're about to take on that's not glamorous, but oh so important. Well, I went on that journey with you many years ago. I was raised in a servant's home. Our kitchen was always open. Yours may have been something like that. If you needed your stomach filled with food, or if you needed your heart fed for counseling, our home was readily available. My dad was a pastor, and he was a farmer, so he was bivocational. And my mom was a pastor's wife and a cafeteria worker in the schools. So both of them worked very hard, always at serving people. It was always so important. We were taught, to whom much is given, much is required. And the highest calling of all was to serve others. My older brother, he's 15 years older than me, and when he grew up, he decided that he would be a teacher and a coach. And I had two thoughts, because I was several years behind him. He was 15 years older than I was. And I had two thoughts. And you know, I was in that same household, brought up that same way, so I thought, okay, I either want to be the Avon lady, because she, in those days, she would come to your house and she dressed up in these fancy clothes, high heel shoes, lots of makeup, and she had this wonderful suitcase. I'm not kidding you. A suitcase that she would come in and open up on our sofa full of makeup. Does it get any better than to have that as a job? Well, my other thought was, I wanted to be a missionary to Hawaii. Yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory. That's what I wanted to do. My parents were about service, and so the profession of education just seemed to fit the bill. So I was destined to become a teacher. When I was growing up in my backyard, I bet just like most of you, I played school, and I was always the teacher to my sister and her little friends, as long as I could get them to play. And if they didn't want to play, then my invisible class would do just fine. And I was the baddest mamba-jamba teacher on the face of the earth. When my class got out of line, I would snap them right back in line. They'd snap back too. Every time I talked, they were totally silent. And when I had to call their parents on my play phone because they weren't behaving, the parents were mad at them, not at me. So, you know, that really wasn't much like the real world. But don't be worried about my sister. I didn't warp her too bad. She became a teacher. When I was in the 3rd grade, I was selected and opportunity to be chosen to integrate North Little Rock Public Schools at the elementary level. Of course, you all know about Central High School and the desegregation. You know about that. That's in history books. It started at the high school, but I bet you didn't know in the 70s is when elementary started to desegregate. And I was in the first group of students to do that. And so even though our home was directly across the street from my elementary school, we lived in a parsonage, and directly across the street from my elementary school, I was put on a school bus by North Little Rock Public Schools. I was bused 12 miles across town with about 40 other all-white elementary children to an all-black school for that grade level. Now, the people in the community were all up in arms, you can just imagine. And my dad, being the pastor of the community, he felt the need to try to calm the community and help them understand that this was important and that it needed to happen. And in my home, there was no chaos about it. There was only security and love, and this is a good thing. So off I went. Well, even I didn't know that at 9 years old, I was being prepared for a lifetime of serving people who didn't look like me or maybe not do things the way that I do them. It was during that year that I learned to respect diversity, and I learned to understand that we are really more alike than we are different. Who knew that that season, at 9, I was being prepared to love and serve the families of the poorest, most diverse elementary school in Fort Smith, Spradling Elementary. Everything happens for a reason. Don't forget that. Everything that you've gone through up to this point has prepared you for what's ahead of you. I started my formal college education right here on this campus. It didn't look like this, but right here in 1981. It was West Ark Community College. And I took my first class, Intro to Education. Do you guys remember that? Did you have that? Well, my teacher was Dr. Delise Gordon, and I've never forgotten her. But through that class, I was sure that education was the route for me. Soon, I was a fully licensed teacher. I was right where you are. And my first job was a first grade class. I stepped into that first grade class, and I had 30 first graders looking at me, staring at me. And I thought, oh my gosh, what have I done? What did I do? But they were there. That was before class sizing. Now the state has made sure you can't have 30 first graders on your first day of education in your classroom. But at that time, there wasn't any. When I first started teaching, there were no computers. In fact, I don't think I had a computer in my classroom until maybe my 5th year of teaching. No computers. No one had a cell phone. The only video game was called Atari, and I'm sure y'all don't even know what that is. You had to buy it at Sears, and you may not even know what that is. There were only VHS movies and VCRs to play them on. There were cassette tapes for music. The TV only had 4 channels, because we couldn't afford cable. It was such a new and big thing, we didn't afford that. TVs sat on the floor, and they were way more than 3 inches thick. And about the only thing that a student had to do other than school was play sports. People didn't go out to eat every day. They ate at home around something called a table. And this is the big thing. Almost no child was on any medication for attention deficit disorder or hyperactivity. Their medicine was when they didn't make it, their parents parents took care of it at home, and it wasn't a pill. So, there was way less competition for students' focus and attention. That was over 27 years ago. And how my perspective has changed about what an effective classroom looks like now and how education has changed. But for you, times are very different. You are graduating at the most exciting time in my career that I've seen in education. The leadership at the state level, some of which are here today, Dr. Stewart and Dr. Santini, the leadership here at the School of Education, Dr. Monica Riley, they're progressive thinkers. Dr. Monica Riley is changing the face of education, and I truly believe that some of her visions are going to go national. Did you even know that at the city level, even your mayor has a degree in education? Did you know that? In fact, you may not know that teaching runs so deeply in his veins that he spends time with a group of students at Spradling every single week to teach them about leadership and to mentor them. He's even done it through COVID. He's learned how to do Zoom, and he hasn't missed a beat. So you're surrounded here at the state level, at the college level, at the city level, by people who highly love and respect this profession that you've chosen to go into. Right now, right this minute as we speak, Arkansas education is quietly but powerfully undergoing a phenomenal restructuring. Every aspect of education is being revisited to look for a growth mindset. Elementary, secondary, gifted and talented, special education, and higher education are all re-looking at the way that they impact students. New initiatives at the state level, such as professional learning communities, highly effective schools, high reliability schools, inclusive practices, and RISE are all of parts of the way that education is changing. The apprenticeship program, which was originated right here at this School of Education with Dr. Monica Riley, is getting state and national attention at this moment. Do you know no other school or college of education in the state or nation is doing that? You are trendsetters. You've been among the greats. And now you are the catalyst for change. History is being written right now, and you're a part of it. And you're going to shape it when you get out there. Soon, those of us that have been carrying that visionary torch for educational change are going to be leaving. But you have been equipped to pick up that torch and carry it to the next generation. You are ready. You are ready. You're ready for this game. You have practiced and practiced, and you're there. You're ready to go. Here are some things that are important, though. Please remember this. Our profession is not about the income. It's about the outcome. It's not about being in authority. It's about being a humble servant. It's not about you getting a voice and having a voice. It's about you helping others find their voice. It's not about teaching. It's about learning. Teaching is not a choice. It's a calling. And today, you be proud. You be so proud that you are a graduate of the the University of Arkansas, Fort Smith School of Education, a school of vision and preparation, the best I know anywhere. Stand tall on those shoulders of the faculty that got you here today. Faculty, stand up one more time. We're standing on your shoulders. Stand up. Look at these people. Give them a round. You would not be where you are without these people. And they didn't have to be the faculty, the visionary people that they are. They could be the ho-hum, standard run-of-the-mill, but they're not. You got opportunities others did not get. You're more prepared than other people. You came from the University of Arkansas, Fort Smith. And be proud, because, never forget this, without teachers, there wouldn't be any other profession. Thanks for spending some time with me today. I'm so proud of you. Go forth, get your torch, and go conquer and impact that next generation. Ms. Osborne, will you join me? Now I have one of my favorite things coming up right now. I get to introduce to you the outstanding interns that have been voted on by your faculty and by your mentor teacher. And so I am so excited to do this today. This moment, and the moment that you walk across that stage at graduation, is what makes your faculty smile and makes their hearts full, because we've been in the trenches with you. And so I'm going to introduce the outstanding interns. First, I'm going to introduce the elementary intern, Katie Roche. Katie has demonstrated her ability as a teacher. This is what her mentor teacher and university professor said about her. She has demonstrated her ability as a teacher. She has a strong desire to be the best. Katie is reflective and uses feedback to better herself. She tries everything, she does everything to the best of her ability. Katie? Middle level, outstanding intern, Angelyn Walker. Mentor teacher and university supervisor says, Angelyn understands the importance of developing relationships. She is a responsible and highly qualified middle-level educator who understands the philosophy supported by the Association of Middle-Level Educators. She is an excellent example of the high-quality teacher candidates that UAFS School of Education produces. Angelyn? K-12 outstanding intern, Darcy Wright. Her university supervisor and mentor teacher says that she is kind, smart, and completely competent to share her wealth of musical knowledge with students. Darcy makes every effort to share herself and communicate with each and every one of the 570 students it has been a pleasure to watch. She desires to instill a love of music at a young age in all students, and those under her tutelage will be blessed. Our secondary outstanding intern, Katrina Fisher. Katrina is a biology major, and this is what her mentor teacher and university supervisor says about her. Katrina works
works to get to know her students and advocate for them. She is passionate about understanding students' motivation and background. She exhibits highly effective classroom management, a focus on student excellence for all students, thoughtful consideration of necessary modifications and accommodations to meet the needs of her students, exemplary content knowledge, and the ability to leverage technology and hands-on experiences to engage and challenge her students. Kate. We're going to give 2 other awards today, and these will go to our apprentices. You heard Ms. Dawson say this is a program that is not going on anywhere else, and this semester we had 2 apprentices, and they are Leslie Holland and Candace Janders. As an apprentice, they became embedded in the classroom and school culture since last summer. They began their work in June of 2020 and have learned the true work of an educator. They have been dedicated to the children in their classrooms and to the profession. They have written curriculum, common formative assessments, common summative assessments, planned interventions, and celebrated the successes of their students. The data related to the students they have taught as apprentices demonstrates student learning at or better than the level of students taught by seasoned teachers. They are both outstanding educators who strive to deeply impact the lives of the children in their care. Candace and Leslie. Now I would like to invite to the podium Ron Orrick.
Good morning. As the Director of the Career Services and the Babb Center for Student Professional Development, I want to congratulate you on finishing your degree. And Robin, those were excellent comments. Make me want to go out to teach. So, all right. Today, I wanted to honor 3 students who finished the Distinction in Professional Development Certificate offered through the Babb Center for Student Professional Development. This certificate is awarded to students who complete several different workshops, including everything from practice interviews with principals to setting up LinkedIn profiles to skills-based resumes, elevator speeches, and we really only have probably less than 5% of students that are graduating at UFS that actually finish this certificate. To recognize their achievement this morning, I'm presenting a Distinction in Professional Development lapel pin. They've also already received their graduation cords and a leather Babb Center portfolio that we invite them to use in their interviews. And but we did save the lapel pin for the pinning today. So today we're honoring Katrina Fisher, Lexi Meeks, and Kelsey Porter. If you would, come forward and receive your pins. We're very proud of them, and it's been an honor to work with them over the past year or so. Thank you very much.
I want to take a minute and let you know what a jewel Ron Orrick is. Ron has come into education, and he has worked with our education students to up the level of professionalism that they leave us with. He works tirelessly to make sure that you have opportunity to integrate and meet superintendents and principals that might hire you. And we want to present Ron today with just a UAFS cup that says, "Thank you for your service." Ron, we appreciate it. probably will.
You're in high demand.
Now we come to the part of our ceremony that is the presentation of pins. The pinning ceremony has its roots in nursing, but the sentiment is applicable to education as well. It is a symbolic welcoming of graduates into the field of education. It is a celebration of you and the hard work you have accomplished. You entered the School of Education as a student and have been transformed into a reflective practitioner. You have passed tests, lots and lots of tests. You have written lesson plans, lots and lots of lesson plans. And you have written case studies and classroom management plans. You have gathered evidence and an exit portfolio and presented your accomplishments to your faculty. And those acronyms of education, InTask, TEST, PLC, IEP, RTI, and on the list goes, that used to be gibberish are now fluently incorporated into your vocabulary. You have shown that you have grit and determination and tenacity. Your professors and mentor teachers have sat where you are. We know what it took for you to get here. We also know that we pushed you to the edge and then grabbed your shirt just before you jumped. We know that this has been an accomplishment. Today, we welcome you as colleagues. Please take the pen in front of you as a rite of passage from student to teacher. Place it on your shirt or lapel, and then take some pictures real quickly. We talk an awful lot in the School of Education about professionalism, and you all look so professional today, all dressed up in your best and sitting so primly. But right now is the time for you to just be excited. So I just want to hear some applause and hollers and all of that, because look where you are!
You all are now in charge of your future. So from this point forward, you must make sure you get your background check in. You must make sure you have made application for a license. And you will have to communicate with the State Department of Education, because no longer can we see your secret information. Okay? Of course, if you have difficulty, we're always here, but be sure that you don't forget to keep up with that, because if something happens with your license or with your background check and it says pending, your license will not be sent to you, and you need those. If you need something to say you're going to be licensed, I'll be glad to write you a letter. Some superintendents will accept that, so just let me know. Some of you need those earlier than others, okay?
Thank you so much, Ms. Osborne. Important information that we don't want you to leave without. Before we leave, we want to turn our attention to one more celebration, the Commitment to Education signing. I'm going to invite some people to come up, and then we're going to talk for just a minute about what this means. First, I want to invite Dr. Carly Saraceni. Dr. Saraceni, can you come? Come stand right here at this table, Dr. Saraceni. I don't know if you realize how privileged we are today to have some very important people in the room, but Dr. Carly Saraceni is the Assistant Commissioner of Educational Effectiveness and Teacher Licensure. We are glad that she took her busy day to come and celebrate this commitment to signing with you. Can we give her a hand? I would like to invite up Dr. Edie Stewart. Dr. Stewart is the Educator Support Program Manager at the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education at ADE. Thank you, Dr. Stewart. And we want to invite up our Mayor, George McGill. I know this has been said already, but I want to say it again because I want you to understand the significance. Our mayor is a supporter of education at higher ed and at K-12. He loves education, and that benefits you, that we have someone that is such a supporter of education. Thank you. And now I'm going to invite back Robin Dawson. You've already met her, but we'll give her a round of applause. The governor, along with the Arkansas Department of Education, believe in you. Each April, they join forces to create a week of celebration and promoting those who are committed to the teaching profession. While we could not have our celebration this year, we are no less committed to education in our state. I want to hear a loud shout of your commitment to students, to the teaching profession, and to education in Arkansas, or wherever you teach. Let's say it together. I'm committed. Here we go. I'm committed. Now that was the saddest thing. I mean, come on, people. We're committed. Let's hear it. I'm committed. One more time. I'm committed. All right, that was a little better. So what we're going to do now is in front of you is a commitment to education. These folks are going to count down with me. We're going to count 3, 2, 1, and then we are going to all sign together. And when we sign, I want you to act like you're at your favorite football game, because that's how committed you are to education. So are you all ready? You've got a pen in front of you to sign too? And we're going to count, ready, in 3, 2, 1. Woo! Come on, let me hear that! All right, stand up and do a little dance. Let me see how, y'all, that's the saddest dance I've ever. Come on, Miss Osborne, show them how to do a little dance. Woo-hoo! I don't think that's how y'all act in a football game. I'm just saying. Thank you for being here today. Those of you who received an award, I want to make sure that you go out and have your picture made at the selfie ring so that we can have that to share with others. Thank you for your hard work. This is the point where we thank you for the children who will be better because of you. Thank you so much for being here today.